Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy, Joe Derrick, checking in. We got another wonderful episode between the Buzz down here at Awesome Studios. And actually, we got a wonderful special guest. I know I say that almost every time, but for real, we really do got a wonderful special guest today. I'm happy to be here with, a good friend of mine, newly acquainted, but definitely could tell be a brother for life. Brother Jake from actually dompen. He's actually here from California, which is, the motherland of this plant we love, cannabis, in a lot of people's opinion. I guess not just opinions, but a lot of people's thoughts. That's where a lot of the finest cannabis comes from. So we definitely want to welcome Jake here, and him and his entrepreneurships. We definitely gonna hear about his journey, and just be able to share with the world some of his knowledge and information about this plant. So welcome, Jake. Thank you. Appreciate you for coming on,
brother Derrick.
Thank you. Hey, yeah, and welcome to Ohio too. The first time. Yeah,
I like it so far.
Absolutely. So I just kind of we like to get a little bit of introduction to the people about yourself, and a little bit about your relationship to the plant, and then from there we'll move forward to talking about your business and entrepreneurship skills and just what you're working on. But yeah, so like just in general, just kind of like to start with, how would you say like cannabis helps you medicinally, or how would you feel that it helps other people too in that way?
I feel like it's a really great empathy stimulant. So like we lots of times say like coffee for your creativity. So there's that, and that's definitely how I've used cannabis throughout my life. Also definitely like a great empathy stimulant as well. And so that's another way that I've used it for sure. And those are kind of two of outside of all of the different benefits, but two of the benefits that I think I've experienced. But I mean, there's so many benefits to cannabis.
Right.
I mean, medicinal, and then even recreational, and cannabis kind of sits in this place where it's like medicinal and recreational.
Right.
And it's not, the way I see it, they're not two separate things. It's kind of all kind of a gradient. And, people who are using cannabis, quote unquote, recreationally, like the way I guess I technically have, there's also a medicinal component to it. Like, just to say that, and so I think the whole dichotomy just kind of, yeah.
Yeah, that's well said. I agree with you on that 100%, because I like to always say, in my opinion, cannabis is medicinal for all. It's just like we're just figuring it out and learning, and in some ways haven't figured out how it's other ways how it can be medicinal for people, but with the proper research and science and just relaxation of laws, I definitely think we could figure that out or learn more and be shocked to what we.
Yep.
No, that's awesome. I thank you for that. What about there's so many. Well, as we become more educated and as a more informed consumer, there's so many different ways to consume this plant now. Do you have like a preferred way of your consumption, I guess, method, or that you when you first discovered your relationship with?
For sure. Well, in the early days, it was the apple. That was the first.
Oh, the forbidden fruit.
Like the Isaac Newton.
Sorry, yeah. Like that's right.
So that was the original method very early on, when I was I don't know, maybe like 13.
Yeah.
We've come a long way since then. But I mean, there's so many different methods. To be honest, I don't really do like edibles that much anymore, just because like my body specifically just doesn't respond as well to edibles.
Yes.
So probably the vapes or like pre-rolls.
There you go. Hey, and there's nothing wrong with
the two product types we sell.
There's nothing wrong with that at all, but also everybody's endocannabinoid chemistry makeup is definitely different. So I I respect and commend you for that. There's definitely no, what do you call it? No real standards to a person's cannabis consumption, just because, like I said, everyone's chemistry makeup is different. So you just gotta. What I always try to tell people is be your own doctor. Keep a journal and take notes, especially.
And to kind of piggyback off that, for us, we kind of realized that was kind of a myth early on.
Yeah.
That there's one type of, cannabis, like one strain that for everyone affects people a specific way. Like you said, like everyone has their own specific biochemistry.
Yeah.
And really we've identified like 3 factors that affect someone's experience with cannabis. So that's your personal biochemical factors,
Yep.
Environmental factors, so like what time of day, like did you just eat, like that type of thing.
Yep.
And then the strain itself and like the method
Right.
of consumption. So those kind of 3. So we actually like built a system for like mapping.
Yep.
To try and to kind of do research, a method for doing research and visually kind of mapping out people's effects, the effects that people find with cannabis. So basically, you interview people. You say, okay, what time of day were you using it? And like, what was your environment?
Right.
What was the strain you were using?
Yep.
And then map out the specific effect.
Yeah.
On a axis of like somatic to psychoactive. So like, how high did you get?
Yeah.
And then also like sedative to stimulant. So was it a stimulant or was it a sedative?
Yeah, were you more up or down?
Yeah. And when you can do that, you can map out where people fall based on who they are.
Yeah.
So you can say, okay, if you're someone who tends to be more anxious,
right,
other people who are kind of like that, when they use it at the specific time of day, this is where they're at. So that's like how we do it.
Most people, that's, man, kudos, because that most people wouldn't even think like that is deep on a whole other level. That's the way our doctors and physicians should be, and our government really should be thinking about, hey, how do we properly professionally get involved with cannabis in that way, where we can in depth kind of have a better understanding what works better for food. So I think that's where we're kind of lacking in some areas of the industry. But as we like to, or as people like to jokingly say, and it does matter again on this part too, as far as your biochemistry and makeup, what would you say is like maybe a go-to snack or favorite munchie when you do consume stuff?
The watermelon, the freaking watermelon Sour Patch.
Oh, okay, yeah, dude.
The ones that are like just,
those, you can't go wrong with those. Hell yeah.
To be honest, I will say I haven't had those in a little while.
Yeah. No, I mean, there comes a point where you realize you gotta cut some things out.
Now it's like, what are the new, like the sugar-free one? The sugar-free ones?
Yes.
I forget what they're called, but there's a brand that's like a popular sugar-free brand. Yeah.
Nah, I mean, hey, sugar can't always be your choice, kids. I'm sorry. Nah, you gotta kudos.
Sugar's the real drug. Like,
you're right.
People out here,
you talk about cannabis.
Yeah, I mean that's a whole other conversation.
That is very true. Then that's a more addicting drug or substance than this plant, right?
It might have much more harmful.
100%.
Yeah, that's a whole nother.
Nah, you're right. But shout out to people that are more, doing their best to be health conscious and aware and educated about what's going in and out of our foods or what we consume. Because again, that's part of your wellness. And health is wealth, so we all want to do our best to protect that. No, I thank you for that, genuine, honest answer. So if you could change one thing about the cannabis industry, nice. Or I know it's like a lot of, that's maybe hard to narrow down, but if it's just anything that you could make better, what would that be? Or improve?
I would make it legal and everywhere in the world.
There you go.
But I mean, that's when we started the business, that was really our main goal. Our mission is to be part of the movement to legalize, cannabis.
Yeah.
Our mission is to destigmatize cannabis, and when we're looking at like different ways of doing that, we found that giving someone a positive experience with cannabis through a product is a really good way to do that.
Yeah.
So ultimately, I think federal legalization is the goal. Like that, when that happens, that's going to be one of the best days of my life.
Yeah.
Outside of like the birth of my son and the first day I met my wife, like that's the that's going to be probably the best day of my life.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. And that's well said, because we're going to get to a little bit more later, but definitely from like just creating something and then seeing it brought to life, actually prospering to grow into a self-sustaining business is awesome, especially in this cannabis industry too, like a new thriving, developing industry. So
it's more than just us,
Yeah, no, it's a community.
That's how I say it. That's how I see it. It's like, honestly, the day, in a way, the day cannabis is legalized federally, like that would probably be a better day for me than I don't know, what something great happens with the business, like the IPO or like sell business or something. That to me is bigger, because it's bigger than us.
Exactly. It's bigger than y'all, and it's. But also, what I like to say is, it's enough room for everybody. Everybody eats or everybody wins.
Yeah.
The cannabis industry is not your average industry in the sense of most people find a way to work together or coordinate with each other, and I mean, like just. Collaborate, not coordinate, but collaborate with each other in a sense. And I
like
think
what we're doing with penalties.
Exactly.
What we're doing right here in this interview.
Exactly too. Is you gotta kind of like work together, everybody grow together, and win together. So that's what we need more in society, the cannabis community in general, everywhere. Do you think that cannabis should be, I guess, covered as a form of healthcare by the government?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think insurance definitely needs to cover cannabis. And like over the past decade, I've met with countless people that use cannabis as an alternative to opioids or, anxiety medicine, all these different things. And it just completely, it's so effective. I mean, it 100% should be.
That's what I said. I think that like as we move further and toward further into the development of cannabis legalization, people will start to see like why the government, like them being involved, isn't. I mean, as long as they do it right, can help us too, as far as or help people that can't like genuinely afford it or grow it or whatever it may be to their necessary needs. Decriminalizing it and like federally just making it acceptable would be way more beneficial to society and us all.
Completely. Yeah. I mean, I'm not against regulation. I'm against like over regulation to the point where not to talk shit about Ohio.
No, you're good.
Like out here. Yeah, I love Ohio. I love all the people out here, but I feel like the regulations here, it's been taken too far.
It's too suffocating.
It's suffocating and it's too draconian.
Yeah.
Whereas in other places, but you also don't want the regulations to be like too loose to the point where you don't know what's in the product.
Yeah.
And it's just like the Wild West, and everyone hops in, and then the prices shoot down, and everyone's that kind of happened in Oklahoma, or it's happening in New Mexico right now.
Michigan
or Michigan, definitely, that's for sure happening right now. And so you kind of want to be in the middle. I think probably closer towards like the deregulation, but with like a lot of the health and safety stuff is really important, obviously.
No, that's well said. I think I agree with you, because don't get me wrong, like regulations are definitely much needed and everywhere, but like you want to make it to where they're like, hey, let's do business, or you're able to do commerce with each other. But when you make it to where it's suffocating, it's kind of like, yo, what do you expect these people to do, or what do you want them to do in some aspects? So I definitely think that that's something that needs to be respected and just like appreciated, because cannabis industry gives a lot of people jobs and opportunities to maybe own a home or a car, just a lot of things, much more than people realize. It's not just like a
I think we're at like over, what is it, like 500,000 jobs, full-time employment. I think that we're at.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, and that's like those are numbers and stats we should definitely be showing and providing too, because it's an industry that's helping our economy in so many ways. Just like it's gonna continue to globally help us and other people as long as we do the future weed and line up the future weed properly. Which kind of leads me to my next question. I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. Instead of a strain name, you guys have named numerous strains. Like, what's it like as a brand and entrepreneur, being able to like create different strain names to go out there and market?
It's probably one of my favorite.
Yeah.
Special.
Hell yeah.
It's it's definitely more of an art than a science,
Yeah.
You just have to honestly, you just have to have fun with it. And for us, something we found, like when we first launched, everything was very serious, and so we, I think, took our mission to destigmatize cannabis really far. And like, so we were like trying to be the Apple of weed, basically. And so like everything, it just wasn't really fun. Like, and even our strain names are like original strain names, which we're still selling a lot of them, and they do really well, and they're some of my favorite products that we've created. But the names are a little bit more plain, like Midnight Berry or California Citrus. And as we've grown, we've kind of shifted to, frankly, to be more fun and like have more fun with it.
Yeah.
And so like with our Koa brand, we do, especially with our Koa brand, we do a lot of cool stuff. But we're also using, at least with that brand, they're not designer strains. Like we're crossing strains, but we'll try to, honestly, so we're not even really naming. It's about like the crossing.
Yeah.
So sometimes we'll cross strains that.
Well, I mean, so like you can cross, what do you call it? Cross collab.
Yeah. So we'll like take certain strains. We've had there's some weird strains.
You just make it hybrids in a sense.
You have your like Alaskan Thunderfox.
Yeah.
That's like the classic like weird strain. We had, what was it with Koa? We had 2 strains that we crossed. It was like lemon squirt x truffle monkey. And that was like the weirdest like cross we've ever done. It was like something like that.
Yeah.
And then with the naming, I like doing the strain naming with dompen, because that's where we name different strains, but with collaborations.
Yeah.
Because then that's cool. You can like go into the really that's about learning about the brand we're collaborating.
Right.
Like, so we did a collaboration with a streetwear brand called Sunday School.
Okay.
And they're a Korean owned brand.
Nice.
And so we worked with them, and so we did a Black Yuzu OG. It's like Yuzu is like a Korean thing, and and it was a cross between
Black Yuzu.
Yeah, it was a cross between like some like a lemon haze or some like lemon citrusy strain and an OG. I forget exactly which ones.
Nah, but that's the versatility and the power of this plant, man. You can really go, you can create so many different hybrids or new strains, breeds of plants from just cross hybridization, if I'm saying the term right.
yeah, and like formulation and turkey.
Yeah.
From formulation. Yeah, I mean, creating a strain, it's kind of this weird thing where, and like other businesses, and we do this as well, but like you create packaging and like, there's an art form to that, or you create merch and there's an art form to that.
Right.
but it's like this weird thing where you're creating like a strain. It's like you're creating like the flavor,
right,
and the effect, and so it's like another dimension.
So another,
yeah.
That's so true, and that's what makes, I think, people, depending on how people approach it, that's what makes them respect and appreciate the cannabis industry a lot more, or just the cannabis plant in general. So I appreciate you for breaking that down. Now, kind of making that transition as we before we like go further into your entrepreneurial creative side, I want to ask, like, do you have any like, or do you have a top 5 or list of artists or genre of music you prefer to listen to, or do you kind of like, want to narrow it down to something or less, so the top 3, I guess?
I listen to a lot of older music.
Yeah.
I mean, I listen to all different genres.
Right.
So, when I was younger, I was directing music videos, and so I was mainly doing like hip hop stuff. So that's definitely near and dear to my heart. But lately, I listen to a lot of jazz. I collect records.
Oh, hell yeah.
So I'm really into that, and I listen to a lot of mostly older music. So like older jazz, like like
the older
like you like
funky stuff.
Well, less of that, like more like Billie Holiday,
okay,
Louis Armstrong,
nice,
like,
original,
like kind of like people call like heroin jazz or whatever.
Yeah.
Lester Young, like that. And then I listen to a lot of music from other countries too. So I listen to a lot of like reggae and calypso and like older, specifically like mostly like older. And then I listen to a lot of African music too.
Oh, hell yeah. So
West
like you said, you listen to a lot of diverse, wide range forms of music. So, that's dope. That music is so powerful in the universal language. And in my opinion, we should all try to explore as much as possible. You never know how you might wake up feeling inspired.
I even have like a collection of I collect a lot of non-music records. So I have like educational records and stuff.
Right.
I even have a cannabis record that's actually pretty crazy. It's like, it's really trippy. Like,
is
the whole
it
thing
made out of hemp?
And no, it's like that'd be really great.
Right.
We need to figure out how to do that.
Sure.
No, but you probably could. You can make like anything out of it.
You're right.
But it's like technically it's like a comedic record, but it's like, I honestly don't even know how to explain it. It's like someone's like loose thoughts really high. Yeah, exactly.
It's like a bobblehead.
It's called like a children's garden of grass.
Okay.
But it's like it's a cannabis record.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. So moving on towards like, the creative juiciest part of our show and like just segment. Just curious to know, like, and gonna further talk about your entrepreneurial side. What made you if not a lot of people may be familiar, you and your brother, or in the partner actually, co-founded Dompen. So share a little bit about that, I guess, or the backstory on that, if you don't mind. Why, I guess how Dompen got started as a, young student or entrepreneur yourself. Like, what made you guys go in that direction? Because being born and raised from Cali, we all know that cannabis is obviously praised and celebrated, but they too had a point in time where it was kind of illegal. And
For sure.
Just curious.
Yeah, it is true. It's crazy how far we've come. And like, there was a time when, when we first launched, it was before the recreational laws in California were even written. So there's definitely a different time. But yeah, I guess I'll start. So when I was, so I kind of first became an entrepreneur when I was in high school. Actually, I was working when I was in high school. I was directing music videos professionally.
Nice.
So I was working with, different artists, and it got to the point where I was, starting to find success. This was with my business partner at the time.
Yep.
And honestly, at the time, I wanted to drop out of high school to do that full time.
Yeah.
And because that was really my schooling, going through that, and it was taking up all of my time, and so I was really focused on that. And that's actually what first brought me out to California, to LA, doing that.
Yeah.
And then
The music scene.
yeah, exactly. And then I ended up going to film school briefly.
Yeah.
Sorry, is it still going?
You good.
Okay, cool. And then I ended up going to film school briefly for a couple months, and that's actually where I met two of my co-founders.
Nice.
Or two of my business partners.
Yeah.
And I ended up dropping out after a semester because I was developing a virtual reality camera.
Oh shit.
And so that was originally what I was going to pursue. And so
Virtual reality.
dompen's a virtual reality. Just pivoted now. And so I was developing that, and then I dropped out to pursue that. And my and at the time, because I was filing patents on those cameras.
Yeah.
And when you file a patent, it takes like 3 to 4 years to get approval. And so there's like this whole period of time where you basically are just like waiting for approval. So you could like build this whole thing, and then
it goes
in 3 or 4 years just get denied, and then you're kind of fucked. And so I was kind of in this like waiting period,
right.
And that's when I reconnected with Dom, who I knew from music industry stuff that I was doing before. And he had actually dropped out of Colorado, CU Boulder. He was in Colorado at school there when legalization happened. So that was in 2013. He dropped out, and then we reconnected. When he was there, he saw legalization happen, but there were no on-one vapes on the market.
Yeah.
There were no flavored vapes on the market. Distillate wasn't a thing. It was basically just BHO and like cotton wick. Carts, so that was it. And so he started working on the initial formulation. He ended up dropping out. We reconnected. I immediately fell in love with the product because I had never seen anything like. There literally was. It's hard to imagine. Vape pens are such a big thing now, but at that time,
no,
vape pens weren't a thing.
Like they didn't exist.
They didn't exist. So it was like when I saw it, I just like completely fell in love. I was like, this is the future.
Right.
This is gonna be such a massive. Like you can. You don't have. Yeah. I was like, yeah, exactly. I was like, you don't have to light it up.
Right.
Like you don't have to like roll anything. Like it's literally in this like device. Like it like blew my mind. And then so we partnered up, moved to California, and initially launched in California, and that was we moved to California February 2015, but we were working on it in DC beforehand.
Yeah. Okay.
In 2015.
Solid, man. See, that's dope, and that's kind of sounds like a little bit of a a vision, definitely a vision that was had, but then a bit of a with all visions, you gotta take like some type of action or risk, and you guys take that risk and jump to make that move to Cali, and also just continue to formulate the brand. So kudos to that, because sometimes without everybody else seeing it, you gotta see it and believe it, and like just do what's necessary to bring things to life.
Yeah.
And I know that at the early beginning stages, that's just that's certainly just the start of things, and not not like the most important thing that you guys are, or I said it's like a part of the important thing you're trying to do, which is obviously build your brand, but it's just a part of the journey in process.
For sure, yeah. Some things are more obvious than others, right? Like
right.
And with dompen, the moment I saw it, I knew that it's kind of undeniable, like that it was the future of like cannabis, because it was just so much. It's so much more convenient, so much more discreet, and so I just like knew right away.
Yeah, that's just
And so it didn't even feel like a risk because I was so confident in the product.
right that you're like, oh, this is all reward.
Yeah.
In other words, no, I get that because especially knowing the product and then knowing where you are and how that's perceived in a sense, like the style of product or just the plant in general, like cannabis. It's sad to say, but in a lot of places it can be judged differently just based on the regulations or rules. But it's the same plant no matter what.
Yeah.
Wherever you are, in most aspects. Really. Nah, that's awesome, man. I appreciate you for breaking that down. How about like your length of time? You said you guys were young when you got into this. Like the cannabis industry has been well over 10 plus years, but it sounds like you guys have a decent amount of experience and time put in it too. Especially, it was so shocking, and no offense to you or your brother, but it's just like when you talk to a lot of people in this cannabis industry, especially as far as owners, they're usually a little bit more older or gray hair, or not even gray, but they're just older.
Yeah.
So I
think I have like one.
No, he's like, no.
I'm a parent.
Kudos to that. Shout out to my parent, responsible cannaisseur, but also no. I want to just shout you both out for being young, hustling entrepreneurs, and like just even motivation to other people, I'm sure, even myself, because it's like even more mind blowing when you like talk to you guys. And then you hear your actual age too. It's like, oh shit! Like, damn, you guys are in
I'm 16 years old.
Right? No, right. You guys are in
I was 6 years old.
You're in such a big industry, but you got like such a big, like I said, hustle and heart that it blows a lot of people's mind, in my opinion.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I mean, so when we started the business, I was 19 and Dom was 18. So we were teenagers at that point. And so the funny thing is, like, we couldn't even when we started the business, we couldn't even buy our product now after a rec because you need to be 21.
Yeah.
So like we couldn't even do that, which is kind of funny to think about. Like when we first launched, you had to be 18 to get into dispensary in California during the med program.
Yeah.
And so Ben, who's my business partner now, my brother, he was our first intern. And when he was with us, he was doing sales, and he had to use a fake ID to get into the stores because he wasn't. I don't even think he was 8. Somehow he had to use a fake ID.
Yeah. See, but that's hilarious. It's sad, but also fun. I mean, inspiring in a lot of ways because it's like, why are you trying to stop young kids from?
So all you kids out there in high school, get fake IDs and start become drug dealers. That's what it's all about.
No, seriously, in a funny but serious way. Like, don't believe the stereotypes. Like, you can legit be a great person, a great successful business person, at a young age and responsible. It's just all about your hustle, your determination, and how you use your network. Honestly, because it sounds like that's part of your journey in a lot of ways, as far as just like meeting people, doing the right things, and staying consistent and on top of it. So kudos to that for sure, because you want to definitely like encourage that and also let people know in this industry that it is possible. You just gotta like stay after it, because you guys this hasn't been like a overnight thing. You guys have been in a long marathon, well over.
That it really has. And there are a lot of hurdles too that people don't really talk about.
Right.
If you're not 21 and you're starting a business and you're not like in college, it's actually really hard to do business because the way people like network and socialize is like at bars,
right?
Or in different environments where you have to be 21.
Yeah.
And so it actually made it difficult. Like it was kind of isolating because it was hard to, we'd be talking to someone, they'd be like, "Oh, come out and like get a drink with us," and like we like couldn't do that.
Yeah. So seeing that's a good point, man. Actually, no one really.
That's why we need to bring. I'm actually really passionate about this. Like, we need to bring the drinking age down to 18. I think for a lot of reasons, but every other country in the world has done it. Like, we need to do it in the United States. Like, it's unfair to kids who are adults. Just the thing is, a lot of kids are in college, and people are like more protected in college, and colleges know that kids drink, and so. But if you're not in college and you're not over 21, it's really difficult. Like, you can join the military.
Right.
You could become a porn star. Or you can drink.
That is so true. Like, you can drink. You can buy as much alcohol.
Kill people in the military, or like
you can go shoot people. Before you drink or before you use cannabis. That is so weird. Damn, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. So we need to change.
Damn,
we need to change.
That's well said. That's actually something too that you could change about not even just cannabis, it's about society.
It's like we don't trust young people enough.
Right.
And so when I was younger, I kind of felt that a lot, like even when I was working in high school or like when I started the business, that people, I felt like I had to kind of like, and maybe in certain ways overcompensated for people not, trusting me because I was young.
Right.
Well, in reality, it's like, I trust, in a lot of ways, I trust young people more. Especially with something that's new.
No, I respect that. That's well said. What I was going to say, because legit, I think the youth are the future. So why not? Like, why aren't we respecting them more, and why aren't we giving them the benefit of the doubt? Obviously, young people can. No one's perfect. We all make mistakes and mess up. But it's like, even when young people like yourself or your brother, when you have the opportunity and you're able to be respected, you can definitely turn around and do great things at a younger age, and then like build it out for a longer, something that you can depend on or build on for a longer period of time. That will help not just obviously yourselves, but even society to have more entrepreneurs, more hustling, determined people. So I think we just need to focus on how we look at young people in society, or how, because in general, I say this all the time, you can learn from anybody of all ages, whether it's someone young learn from someone older, or vice versa, someone older learn from someone younger. It goes hand in hand. We can always learn from each other. You just gotta have that, I guess, not gonna say thought, but like belief in a sense.
For sure.
So
yeah, I think we need to like shift our whole education system. So the other day I was at the dinner table with my wife and our daughters. They're 8 and 10, and so they were inspired by one of our friends starting a food truck, and so we went to like the grand opening of it, and they were really inspired, and so they wanted to create their own food truck. And so we were all working together, and like I basically told them that if they created like an investment deck and like a business plan, that I would like invest in it, and that we could actually make it. And we were like working through all this stuff, and it honestly felt like the exact same way that I feel like with my business. I mean, but even now, or like with like 50-year-old people or different executives and stuff. And so it made me realize, I'm like, if they weren't in school right now and this was their school, like they could actually like kill it. And by the time they're like 18, they'll probably be like multi-millionaires.
Exactly. That's well played. That's where I think too, where we go wrong. And no disrespect to any parent. I'm not trying to tell any parent what to do. But I just think in some aspects as a whole of society, where we go wrong is we tend to be like, oh, you're too young for that, or you're not ready for that, or kind of just doubt or underestimate our children's capability. So I respect that anybody that, what do you call it, embraces it or helps welcome it, so that at a younger age their children could be like even more sharp, because that's what it should be looked at, rather than like, I'm gonna make you wait, or I'm gonna hold you back. It's like, nah, actually, let me give you some ways to fly. Like,
Yeah, it's taking a more like proactive and trusting.
yeah,
And I even think about that like in respect to cannabis. Like I always say, like I'd rather be uneducated than miseducated.
yeah.
And so,
I like
and the way that kind of plays out in cannabis is you have people who come into the industry, from other industries,
yep.
and they're, maybe they come in from the alcohol industry, or they're older and they have all this experience. So they went to, whatever Ivy League school it is, or different things.
Right.
And they have a specific, because they've gone through their specific education,
Yeah.
that doesn't necessarily apply to cannabis. And so they could be really educated, but maybe they're not educated in respect to the cannabis industry, and then they make all of these wrong moves.
Yeah.
Like, so we've seen that in cannabis, like when the green rush in California happened, and all of these companies brought in all these people from Wall Street, Coca-Cola, consumer goods. They all were operating as if they were there, but it's not. It's cannabis. It's completely different.
Yep.
And the people who ended up, who are still around and surviving, were either like really young and like, I guess, quote unquote, uneducated, or they're educated in cannabis.
Correct.
And so it's like, it's the same thing like what we were talking about with kids. It's like they're quote unquote uneducated, but that also means that they can absorb so much more.
Yep.
And like, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's,
See, that's well said and well described, man. I appreciate you breaking it down that way too, and I definitely appreciate you taking the time to definitely come on our platform. I do want to ask, just maybe a couple more questions. I like to say, just if there's anything, I guess, that you would like the people to know about either yourself, your brain. What would that be? Like, why should people, I guess, support, or I say, just, like, dompen does a lot for the people, so I guess maybe help them understand why they should support you guys too, because you guys aren't just a vape brand. You also, do things for the community, and I'm big on community, period. I think the cannabis community the cannabis industry is a community in a lot of ways. Whether it's nationally, locally, whatever. I think most people in the right state of mind know that working together means everybody wins, everybody eats. So how would you say that you guys have formed your business to like support that or do that?
Yeah, I mean, cannabis, one of the best things about cannabis is it brings people together. And so we've realized that, even before starting the business, like just like being high school kids smoking weed with each other, or like whatever, like that's one of the greatest things about cannabis. So we try to embed that into every aspect of our business. Like we've done so much, like we've sponsored music festivals, we've we put out an album, and brought our friends together to make an album. Have an online concert series, which is kind of building a community online, so that's called Greenlight.
Hey, shout out to Greenlight.
We sponsored a team in the Venice Basketball League.
Oh yeah,
it's like this
3-on-3.
And then we did a 3-on-3 thing recently, but it's I believe it's the biggest street ball league in the country.
Nice.
And so we did that for a few years. We have the lifestyle brand. We've done a lot of charitable stuff, so we've done quite a few different things. Like we did an initiative called Skid Row Connect.
Yeah.
We highlighted the artwork of 7 artists who live in Skid Row.
Right.
And then we donated the profits to the artists, and then also a nonprofit that works in Skid Row. So like we do stuff like that. We did a Pride multi-pack at one point, and donated the profits of that to an organization in California that's fighting for like LGBT rights. So
I mean, dude,
as well as other things. It's been so many years, so there's so many things. It's like,
no, you're good, and I appreciate that. And there's one thing I want to bring up that you may have forgot, or not purposely, but like you may have forgot, but I won't forget, and I want the world to know, because I think this is something that could be done throughout all the cannabis industry if especially people really genuinely had a you call it, consideration for the Mother Earth and society. Your recycling program that you guys do,
So yeah,
that's huge. Like just a simple like thought and program, but not saying the program is simple, but like the fact that you guys consider that, because this cannabis industry as a whole can be very wasteful and like harmful to society with all the like packaging requirements. Not like blaming any other brands. I know that each state has general requirements you got to meet for packaging, but I just wish that along with that they consider, hey, how do we properly and safely recycle all this stuff?
yeah.
So
There's
kudos
so
for
much.
what you guys do.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, there's so much waste, and that's one of the things when we launched dompen. It's an all-in-one vape unit, and so I always felt kind of guilty about that. A lot of people throwing them out, and so we launched our recycling program. So at this stage, I'm pretty confident that it's the largest vape recycling program in the state.
Yes.
In cannabis. So we recycled, I think, close to 3,000 pounds of vapes at this stage.
Yeah.
And so we accept all vapes, not just dompen. So
Right.
and we do that. Some brands have done recycling programs, but they only accept
For all
vapes.
yeah.
And so we just decide this is an issue outside of ourselves. So and we cover the cost of the recycling
Yeah.
for other
Everybody's,
vapes. Everybody.
See, that's how that's how you indirectly let everybody win, but being a bigger person too, in my opinion, it's bigger than you. It's bigger than us. Like you said earlier, it's not just about us. It's everybody.
Yeah, it's great. And we have our partner in California that does that specifically. And so part of the unit is like recycled certain waste. Most of it's actually adaptive reuse.
Yeah.
So they'll take the unit and they embed it in building materials and like in concrete.
Right.
And so that's also kind of an interesting thing. Next time you're driving on a road,
Yeah.
think that there might be weed.
Yeah.
It's a dompen graveyard.
Oh, that's what's up. Dompen graveyard. No, I appreciate you sharing that, and I also, like I said, I appreciate your time for coming from Cali, man, flying in. We've had a great time just being able to explore the state, get an understanding. But some people don't realize that in general, like we're all dealing with the cannabis plant, but in so many ways, the different states themselves make up our real life experiences with it, or I guess experiences with it in a legal way, and that can make or break some folks. But I genuinely want to give you guys kudos for being able to take what you thought of and envisioned and like grown it to not only make it out into the markets of your state, but now you're pretty sure got it in multiple states. So kudos for that, and I want to say make sure that people check out the website dompen.co.
Yeah, .co, yeah.
Yeah, and make sure they also just go check out all your other initiatives and cannabis active happenings. You guys are very active in the market, and I also want to lastly shout out your your merchandise game, because you guys have a lot of sweet fashion, dope just gear out there that's catered toward the fashion.
And you can find that on futureweed.la.
Okay, yeah, futureweedla.la. Make sure again you support my brother Jake and his team. Dompen, they definitely originally created in California. They've made their way here in Ohio. Partnered with the good old Benelli's, but make sure you definitely
Shout out Benelli's.
Thank you, appreciate that. Make sure you definitely reach out if you have any questions or concerns, and they will always be sure to follow with you when they can, and so are we. Again, remember, we're all just buds and we're just growing. And happy medicating to all, and we want y'all to make sure y'all take care of yourselves. Health is wealth, and be great, be blessed. Take care of y'all. Peace.